Hey there, friends and enemies, JoPa here again, and today I want to talk about what I think could be the biggest issue facing Marvel Rivals in the future. And no, it's not rank distribution or Smurfs or anything of that nature. Instead, it is the constant negativity that surrounds gaming these days. It doesn't matter what game you follow, but especially when a new impactful game rises in the scene, everyone gets excited about it initially, and then as times go on, people get bored, they play it too much, they burn themselves out. Now you start to see just a flood of negativity, and this happened with Warzone. Warzone is obviously not in the best space right now. Same thing for Apex Legends, but a lot of it has to do with your favorite content creators, various people making content around the game, just being endlessly negative, and that ultimately drives players away. Whereas in the past, it feels like content creators were more focused on finding fun new ways to play. You had old Call of Duties or old video games sticking around for extended period of time. Look at Minecraft, for example. There's only so much you can do in that game, but the game has thrived over the years because its content creators find new fun ways to play the game, do interesting challenges, all of that kind of good stuff. And that seems to be a dying trend that I feel like is hurting the video game landscape in general. I have long said that it is perfectly understandable to be critical of games, to make suggestions on how to improve them. But if every single video you post, whether it's short videos, whether it's long videos, whatever the case may be, if every single one of them is complaining and arguing about why something is bad or not good enough or needs to be changed, then eventually that is going to put your community in that same mindset. If you are constantly watching negative content, your mindset could very well tip negative. And that's something that I feel like is incredibly frustrating as somebody who generally still enjoys video games. I love playing games. There's so many out there these days that I find enjoyable, that I think are fun. And I just genuinely look for the positives while also understanding certain pain points. But some of these issues are not that big of a deal, especially for the vast majority of the community. Having these problems be propped up on the internet, whether it's on YouTube or TikTok, whatever the case may be, it leads to them feeling like they are bigger problems than they actually are. I've had folks comment on my videos that 70% of the opponents they face in Platinum are Smurfs, and that's just, there's no possible way. Yeah, maybe they were exaggerating, but ultimately that idea that everybody is Smurfing and everyone is this and everyone is that is unbelievable to me, because they can't fathom that some people are just better in that rank, or they can't understand that there's factors that go into every game. The reason oftentimes that one game feels great and the next game feels bad is not just due to skill level of various players. It's also about matchups, whether you get the right team compositions, whether you have players in the roles they are most comfortable in. When you have no role queue, this increases the likelihood of you getting teammates who might all main support, all main duelist, all main vanguard. And because of that, because you have the possibility of that, sometimes a player who is a platinum level player who's playing strategist normally, that's their main, ends up having to flex onto duelist or vanguard. Maybe they are not that same rank with that different role, and because of that, it can feel kind of bad when you face a team that has everybody who is exactly where they're supposed to be on the correct roles. It's another point of reference for that is if somebody is a Spider-Man main and they dominate lobbies from silver and gold, and then they hit plat and they're running into a Namor that can counter them. They're running into players who understand how to play against Spider-Man specifically. Now all of a sudden that player is going to struggle, and they earned their way up into that rank, but that doesn't necessarily mean they are going to be able to climb from there, and they might be throwing some games, popping off others if they face the right or the wrong teams. And so I think there's a lot of factors that people don't consider when talking about all this stuff. And I really just wish we could look at the positives, look at the fun parts of the game. I'm really enjoying Clone Rumble, for example. I think it is a very interesting game mode that I hope they tinker with as well. You can make some changes, like have it so where the characters selected are randomized every match, or you could have it so there are knockouts, so that way if somebody picks a certain character, then other characters are limited. Whatever the case may be, there's a lot of different options there. But I do want more fun, silly stuff in the game. That doesn't necessarily mean everybody has to do the unranked to Grandmaster challenge on a bunch of different Smurfs and stuff like that. I feel like part of the reason people complain about the rank inflation at various ranks is because they feel like they deserve to be higher. But if that was the case, then wouldn't you be able to climb just as easily? I just don't understand all the mindset in the community and why everything has to be largely negative. We're living in a time where Overwatch is constantly improving. It is really making a concerted effort in order to try to get better, so that way it can compete with Marvel Rivals. Marvel Rivals has a lot of content in the future on the way. There's going to be adjustments, and it's a good time to be a fan of hero shooters. We have other games rising up like Fragpunk, which, like it or not, is another potential competitor. So because of that, if you are a fan of this genre, I'm imploring you not to be excessively negative and just try to enjoy the ride while you have it. I will say that as somebody who played Warzone at launch, played Apex at launch, played a lot of these games at launch, and really enjoyed myself, you don't really know how good the times are initially until they're gone. This fresh game feeling, which is already slipping a little bit, will not last forever. There's going to be a time where there are actual legit problems that are long-term issues that the developers are going to struggle to fix. And that is a time where the game will probably lose some of its base and start to struggle a bit more. And understanding that, and watching the same story play out. I play games like Destiny 2. I play so many of these titles to check them out, try new games, try to find the magic of that fresh game feeling. And I just fully understand what the future holds with games like this. These live service ongoing games are just always going to have a point where they legitimately struggle. And the hope is that you allow people to enjoy themselves as much as possible until that does happen. And even when that does happen, there's always the chance of a rebound. Not every game is going to be a Fortnite or a CSGO that keeps players around for so long. Some games are going to have very high highs and then they're going to crash eventually. And understanding the enjoyment that you can get out of a game in the short term is very important, in my opinion, and something that I don't think people give enough credit to. In general, I think the gaming community is far too negative, looking to nitpick things that are, yes, you want to give your feedback, you want to give your constructive criticism, but too often it'll be people who only play Marvel Rivals calling the game dog shit or saying that it's bad. I've seen it in every other community, and it's just hilarious. How are you going to play for a game for hundreds of hours and say it's crap? That just never made sense to me, and it never will. These people cannot help themselves. At the end of the day, they just don't know anything but playing one game endlessly, grinding it to dust, and then complaining about it endlessly from there. And if you're not somebody who makes that type of content, I would just say the best way to move forward would be to not engage with that content either. Try to make some fun, positive content however you can, make it interesting. But if you're just somebody who watches, then I just watch stuff that is going to bring you joy and make you happy, and not put you in a bad mood because all you hear is complaining all the time. It's just so prevalent, and it's incredibly infuriating in my opinion. This was a bit of a rant today. I've been thinking about this a lot over the last couple weeks when I'm scrolling TikTok or YouTube and I see Marvel Rivals videos that inevitably just are negative for no reason. And yeah, I'm being negative about them, but I want positivity back in the gaming community, and it's got to start somewhere. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Like the video as always, comment, subscribe. Have a good one. I'll catch you all later.